There's a type of woman who doesn't argue, doesn't chase, doesn't explain, and yet somehow leaves a deeper impact than anyone else. She walks away without closure. She stays silent when others expect emotion. She sees through people almost instantly. And that's exactly what makes her unsettling. Because according to Carl Jung, the most dangerous individuals aren't the loudest or the most aggressive. They're the ones who have integrated their darkness. So what happens when a woman stops fearing her shadow? What happens when she no longer needs validation, no longer seeks approval, and no longer plays by the emotional rules most people depend on? You get something rare, something misunderstood, and something deeply disturbing. The Sigma female isn't just independent. That word is too simple, too surface level. Because independence can be learned, it can be faked, it can even be performed. But what we're talking about here, is something internal, something psychological. A shift that happens after someone has been disappointed too many times seen behind the mask people wear, and realize that most social dynamics are built on illusion. Carl Jung spent his life studying what lies beneath human behavior. Not what people say, not what they show, but what they hide. And one of his most unsettling discoveries was that the people who seem the most composed often carry the deepest awareness of human darkness. The Sigma female fits this pattern almost perfectly, not because she chose to be different, but because she couldn't unsee what she saw. Jung believed every human has a shadow. The parts of yourself you reject, your jealousy, your selfishness, your anger, your capacity to hurt others. Most people spend their entire lives avoiding this. They distract themselves, they deny it, they project it onto others. But the Sigma female? At some point, she stopped running and faced it. She recognized that she is capable of detachment, emotional withdrawal, even coldness when necessary. And instead of pretending otherwise, she integrated it. This is the point of no return. Because once you accept your shadow, you stop seeing the world in black and white. You stop believing in purely good people. You stop expecting fairness. You stop being easily manipulated by appearances. And this creates a quiet but powerful shift. She no longer reacts. She observes first. She no longer trusts words. She reads patterns. And most importantly, she no longer needs to believe comforting lies just to feel secure. People often describe her the same way. She's distant. She's hard to read. She doesn't open up. But what if that's not emotional absence, but emotional control? Jung believed that people who are unaware of their emotions are controlled by them. But those who are aware can choose when and how to express them. The Sigma female feels everything, but she filters it carefully because she understands something most people ignore. Not everyone deserves access to your inner world. So instead of reacting impulsively, she pauses, she watches, she evaluates. Is this person genuine? Are their intentions consistent? Do their actions match their words? And until she's certain, she remains guarded. Not because she's incapable of connection, but because she refuses false connection. Here's where Jung's idea becomes even more disturbing. He warned that suppressed emotions don't disappear, they evolve. And in the Sigma female, anger doesn't explode, it condenses. It becomes something sharper, more precise. She doesn't argue loudly, she doesn't create scenes, she doesn't try to win emotionally. Instead, she remembers every inconsistency, every betrayal, every moment of disrespect. And she processes it internally. This gives her a unique kind of power. She doesn't react in the moment. She decides later, and when she decides, it's final. This is why people are often shocked when she leaves. Because from the outside, everything seemed fine. But internally, she had already disconnected long ago. One of the most confusing things about her is how she leaves. No long message, no emotional breakdown, no dramatic ending, just distance, silence, absence. Jung would explain this through projection. Most people don't see others clearly. They see their expectations, their desires, their assumptions. So when someone treats her poorly, she doesn't always try to fix it, because she understands if someone can't see you clearly, no explanation will change that. So instead of exhausting herself trying to be understood, she withdraws. Not impulsively, but deliberately. And once she does, there's rarely a way back. Most social dynamics rely on invisible forces: approval, validation, fear of rejection, desire to belong. These forces shape behavior. They keep people predictable. But the Sigma female? She has detached from most of them. Not completely, but enough to make her different. She doesn't need constant reassurance. She doesn't rely on group acceptance. She doesn't fear being alone. And that changes everything. Because if you can't control someone through attention, approval, or emotional pressure, then what controls them? Very little. And that's what makes her unsettling. She operates on internal standards, not external expectations. But this isn't a perfect existence. And Jung made that very clear, because the more aware you become, the harder life can feel. The Sigma female often struggles with feeling disconnected from others, losing interest in superficial conversations, wanting depth, but rarely finding it. She sees through social masks, but that also means she sees how rare authenticity really is. And this creates a quiet loneliness. Not because she's alone, but because she feels different. She doesn't belong to the surface level world anymore. But she also hasn't fully found her place beyond it. So she exists in between, observing, understanding, but rarely fully seen. Carl Jung didn't believe that awareness was comfortable. He believed it was necessary, and sometimes disturbing. Because once you truly understand yourself, you also understand others. Their patterns, their motives, their hidden contradictions. And the Sigma female? She's often someone who has gone further down that path than most. She doesn't just see the world, she sees through it. And that's why she doesn't chase, doesn't explain, doesn't stay where she's not valued. Because once you've seen the truth, you don't negotiate with illusions anymore.